All right, so welcome everyone. And for those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Mary, and we're going to be doing a little focus for the shoulders today. So I've asked everyone to make sure they have their strap around, as well as the ball, and of course blocks around should you need them. And we'll take a nice seat on our mats. Actually, have a lie back on your mat. So take a comfortable position. I'm going to lie back because I find it most able to get into my body when I'm lying down. Some of us might feel a little bit more comfortable seated. But once we've found that relaxing position, just want you to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and then exhale. Just try and relax your shoulders. Try and relax your jaw. Just notice how we feel this morning. I have my knees bent. You can completely have your legs stretched out. You can have your eyes open if you want to focus on something that's maybe above you, or slightly close those eyes and soften the gaze a little bit. And a lot of the times we just give ourselves a moment to figure out how we actually feel in our bodies in the morning. The only time I really tend to notice how I feel is when I get up and something is not right. But we should always examine the body to see what feels good. It's always important to notice what's not feeling good. But you generally will start off a lot better by just being a little bit more grateful about all the things that the body can do. So the first thing is we're all still able to breathe, and hopefully we have nice clear airways. We're gonna just do some nice slow breathing. If you wanna place one hand on your belly and one on your chest, this will allow you to really get some feedback as to how you're breathing. And if you find that holding that elbow up in the air, if you have your hand on your chest, I like to take a block and just rest my elbow on it, so that way my elbow is not, I'm not trying to hold my elbow up, it's just nicely rested on the block while one hand is on the chest. And then the other one feels a little more natural to have the elbow on the floor where my hand is on the belly. And then we just want to notice how we're breathing. Are we breathing just entirely up in one big breath so that the entire rib cage and belly expands? Are we starting to know that there's a bit of a flow coming into our breath? We're just relaxing and just noticing again how our body's responding. If the body is feeling particularly comfortable, we should be able to just start to relax down onto our mats. And then we're gonna really start to focus in on the breath. It's gonna be a wave pattern this morning. You're gonna take a big breath and see if you can rise up the chest first and then the belly. And then exhale, squeeze the core and then through the ribs. So it's a whole diaphragmatic breath. And it takes a little while if we're not used to this type of breathing. So really just focusing in on breath in our body. So inhale, rise the chest, rise the belly. And then exhale, let the belly drop and let the chest drop. Now, as we're doing this, now we're starting to focus in on this breath. If you're still just trying to concentrate on this breathing, just stay with this breathing. But now just notice what your shoulders are doing. Inhale deeply, let the shoulders relax, rise the belly. Exhale, let the belly drop, and then let the shoulders melt as you exhale through the chest. Inhale, you'll feel that the shoulders just slightly tip as you come up into that breath, and then the belly, and then exhale the belly down, and then just gently let those shoulders come forward as you exhale. It's not a force, it's just, we're just noticing a slight little movement. Let's do 2 more of these in your own perfect time, and I'll just be quiet for a little bit so you can really hone in on yourself. You might be able to hear me breathing. Do it 2 more times. Maybe even add in your ujjayi breathing, which is that really rustling sound in the back of your throat. And just take a moment to go back to your regular breathing. If you're using a block like mine, just push it out of the way so that you can bring your hands down by your sides. And then do a little rock of the head. And I've got my knees bent already, so if you have yourself completely outstretched, just bend your knees. Then take one hand and just float it up over the head. Doesn't matter which one. And then exhale, switch to the other side. So it's just a gentle movement of the shoulders. Inhale, one hand up over the head. And exhale, the other hand. Now we've probably completely forgot about how to breathe, where I just asked you to breathe through the chest and then through the belly. So let's slow it down and see if you can breathe through the chest. Inhale, both hands are up, and then to the belly. And then exhale through the belly, both hands are up, and then let one drop. Inhale through the chest, inhale through the belly, exhale through the belly, exhale through the chest. One more time. Inhale chest, inhale belly, exhale belly, inhale chest. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Bring both of your hands down by your sides, and we're going to try and continue that deep breathing with the chest belly, rising both hands up over your head. So inhale chest, inhale belly, exhale belly, exhale chest. That should feel really quite natural because the arms are now floating the way you would normally take that breath in, with the chest, with the belly arching up, and then exhale belly, and then exhale chest. One more time. Inhale, and then exhale. Leave those hands down by your side now. And we're gonna take our knees. You're gonna exhale as you bring one knee to stack over your hip. So exhale, bring one knee to stack. Inhale, place it back down. And then exhale. So now we're starting to engage the lower abdominals and just see how our hips are feeling. You're using your hip flexors and your lower abdominals to stack that knee. And then let it go. You're gonna exhale, pull that knee up. And then inhale, put it down. So we're trying to keep the hips squared. We're trying to keep connection of our back on our mats. And we're still doing that breathing. Inhale, chest and belly. Exhale. That's actually the other way around. So you're going to exhale, belly and chest, and inhale to lower that leg down. So it makes more sense to exhale to stack that leg, and then inhale to come back down. Let's do it one more time. Exhale, stack, and lower back down. And then do the same thing with the other leg. Try and relax the shoulders. We're not working the upper body at all. If we can, we're gonna do both legs. So take a deep breath in. Exhale, belly and chest. And then inhale, chest and belly. Exhale. And inhale. If it's too much and you feel that the back is starting to arch, one leg at a time is fine. We're just really getting into the sensation of those lower abs, the hips and hip flexors. One more time. And then place your feet back down. Take your hands out more like a cactus arms. And then let's start to rotate through our thoracic spine. Drop your knees towards one side. And again, I'm not so concerned about which side we're going. So just drop your knees to one side. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale to the other side. So just starting to manipulate that lower back. Inhale. And just noticing, does it feel really good today? Because we're looking for positives. A lot of the time, definitely in media, a lot of us have a lot of negativity thrown at us, whether it's somebody complaining or the news or something. So we're just looking for how good we feel, that we're all together, that we're in the comfort of our homes, that we can breathe, that we can move. And then once we've done that, I want you to pull one knee into the chest, give it a good hug, Again, we don't get to hug ourselves nearly enough, so give that knee a good hug in, and then release it down, and then grab the other knee and give yourself a great big hug here with the other knee in, and then let it go, and then we'll do both together. So give yourself that great big hug. You can hold onto the knees or wrap your elbows around the knees if you can get it really tight. And then if it feels comfortable for you, just a little rock side to side, just to massage those spinal erectors. And then we'll release those legs and hands back down. Roll over onto one of your sides and gently make your way up to seated. We're going to locate our strap. Just find yourself in a comfortable position. And again, we're going to be sitting for a while. So those of us who like to sit on the block, I always recommend having those blocks around so that you can sit on them, especially if we have tight hips. And what that's going to allow us to do is if we bring your butt right to the edge of the block and let the knees fall forward, you're going to be able to tip that pelvis down. That's going to let you get that spine nice and tall. And again, if we're not worried about the blocks and we can sit perfectly straight with hips completely attached on the ground, then we do that as well. Now that we've done that, I've located my strap. I'm just going to open it all the way up. And I have a strap that has the buckles. I have a plastic one, you might have a metal one. I just recommend you wrapping that one up around your hand so that it's not hanging. And then the other side should be the lighter side so that you can start to make that movement quite a bit bigger with the hands, okay? So that's a personal preference of mine because every once in a while, one of those buckles will hit me in the head and then it doesn't feel great, right? So we're gonna take the band as wide as you can with your hands. Take a big inhale, look up to the ceiling. And then exhale, bring it back down to the knees. Okay, so we want it nice and wide. A big inhale, just look up at it, bring it just above your head. And then exhale, tip the chin and bring it back down to the knees. So we're just starting with this gentle movement. Now that we've got this movement, we've got a nice big open band. Okay? We're just looking up at the ceiling when the band goes up. And we're gonna exhale, bringing the band to the knees as we look down. So this is getting your cervical spine to start to look up again. I don't look up too often during the day. I look down a whole lot. And then bring it down. So my elbows are quite straight. We're gonna inhale all the way up. And then I want you to bring it just slightly behind your head as you look down. Okay, so it's not a big movement. So from my side view, I'm only about here. Okay, if I need to widen my hands a little bit more, I can unwrap and unwind the hands a little bit more. And we should feel the pectoral stretch. See, my spine is hopefully nice and straight. And then we're gonna inhale to look up at the band and then exhale, bring it back down. Okay, so now we're gonna float through this one. So from the side view, inhale all the way up, look at it. Exhale, just slightly behind your head. Where you should be feeling it is right here in the pectorals and across the chest. They get very tight, okay? We'll do it one more time and then I'll offer you to go a little bit deeper. So inhale, rising up, look at it, cervical spine. Exhale, tuck your chin and stretch out your chest and your pecs. Inhale, come up. And exhale, come down. Now, if you have a lot more range of motion in those shoulders, inhale, look up. Exhale, maybe pull the band a little bit further down, or I can rotate all the way down to my bum. And then I'm gonna inhale, look all the way up. And then exhale, roll down. So if you need a little bit more room, open up your strap. If you need a little less, I just wound up a little bit. And I'm gonna test the waters because now it's gonna be a lot more difficult with a shorter or narrower strap and bringing it down. And I want everyone to go really slow. This has to go slow for you to find the sticky points. I am right here, and this is the point at which my shoulders are super sticky. So go really slowly through the point that you find stickiness, and it's gonna be in the back somewhere. And then exhale, release it down. I'm gonna come and take a look at everyone and make sure we're okay. And then don't worry if you can't get all the way down. So we're going to go all the way up and then pull so you can see this muscle right here gets the stretch right across the front. And then exhale, coming back down, and make sure we're getting that cervical spine in. So inhale, looking up. Exhale, pull down and drop your chin. That way we get that nice big chest opening here. Inhale, come up. And exhale, come back down. This is so good for the rotator cuff. And if we can keep our arms straight without that bend in the elbow, it's gonna release the arms that much more from in the chest and the pectorals, okay? So bring it back down to your knees and just have a seat again. I'll have a seat again, you guys are still seated. And just give me a couple of shoulder rolls here, just a couple of shoulder rolls, up, back, and down, and then rolling forward. Let's take our first deep breath with our hands rising all the way up. And then exhale, bring them back down through heart center. So we're just seeing how the shoulders feel. We're starting to warm them up. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, coming back down. We'll do this one more time, a nice big rise up. Exhale, come down and locate your strap again. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm winding up on one side. Taking it not as wide. I only want it as wide as my shoulders. So you can see I've narrowed it quite a bit, okay? We're sitting up nice and tall on the block or on our behinds. And we're gonna take our right hand and we're gonna pull it all the way over to the right side of the room, letting the left one drag with it. And then inhale, come up. And then exhale, keeping, especially if you're on the block, both of your butt cheeks attached to the mat. The tendency is when you turn to the right side, that left butt cheek wants to lift up, but I really want to get into the side body. Inhale and exhale, come down on the other side. So a lot of things are happening here. We're holding our hands above our head. Keep them just forward of your face. I can still see my band here. And then we're gonna dip all the way over to the right, come back up. I can still see my band and then come down on the left. Now, when we go, I want you to turn your head and look up to the ceiling when you come down on the right side. Look neutral, and then exhale, look to the ceiling, pull down on the other side, and come up. So hands above the head, lots of stretch for the lats. They get awfully tight. One more time over to the second side, and come back up. Bring those hands down in front of you so that they're at your chest now. And we've still got that about shoulder distance away. And then what I want you to do is take your right hand, drop it down, you've still got tension, and pull up on the left and just tip. And then the center of the band stays exactly where it is in space and you tip the other way. Inhale, come up. Exhale, you're trying to pull the band apart. Come back up and then tip the other way. Now what I'd like you to do is keep your head straight and just tip from the hands, bring it back in, and then tip, nice, from the hands and bring it back in. One more time. So we're sitting up nice and tall, head isn't moving. We're just feeling that tension in the shoulders because we're trying to rip this band apart, okay? So you want that tension there. We've got this tension, pulling your right hand back as your left one goes into the front, keeping the tension, and then switching the sides, okay? So it's like you've got tension on the band and you're pushing one forward and then you're pulling the other one back, okay? So the key is to keep the tension on that band the whole time, so you're pulling out and then pushing forward. Should feel some of the work in the shoulders, pushing out and forward. One more time. And then exhale. And then we're going to take it for a circle. So from here, you're going to take one hand, drop it down, and I've still got the tension, and then circle around. Get those elbows out to the side if you need to shorten your band at any time, if you need to take a break. But this should be really working the shoulders quite a bit. Okay, so we're sitting up tall. We're not moving the spine in any way. We're just pulling the shoulders from the back. You can see it's the same thing. Sitting up nice and tall. And it's just like we're paddling away in a canoe. One hand comes up and then the other one comes down. So if you've ever gone canoeing, this is exactly that motion. If you've never gone canoeing, you're going to be strong enough to go for a good paddle at some point. Maybe not anytime soon. I'm looking outside my window at the moment and that ain't leaving anytime soon. All right, so let's go ahead and bring that band all the way up. Exhale it over to the right side for our last little stretch. Those arms should be Good, and shoulders should be good and warm now. Over to the left side, and then come back and release it down. Oh, so that was some good work for the shoulders. We're gonna take it for a stretch. This will be our last one with the belt for a little bit, okay? So again, I've got the heavy piece, the buckle, and I'm putting it in my right hand. And we're gonna take that and just place it behind our head, okay? So you have your hand, it doesn't matter which one, because obviously the one that's above your head is going to be the one that you can take your thumb, point up, and grab the strap here, okay? So it should look like this. So top thumb points down, bottom thumb points up, and we've got some movement here in our bands. Okay, so let me take a quick look. Everyone's good? Yes. Okay, so this is going to be for the tricep, right? So when you've got this particular, let me see if I can stay a little closer for you guys can see. All right, and we're going to lift up with the top hand, and that's going to pull your bottom hand up, and that's going to stretch out this part of the shoulder, okay? And then you're going to pull down with the bottom hand, so pull down with the bottom hand, and that's going to stretch out the tricep and the lat. Okay, so it's like a little floss. If you can walk your hands a little closer together, go ahead, and then just gently, it's not a huge pull, it's just a gentle pull. Inhale to come up, exhale to pull down. Okay, so when you pull up, it's the anterior deltoid. When you pull down, it's the tricep and the lat. One more time, just a little floss here. Exhale, coming down. Now, if you can go ahead and pull up, so we've pulled up, and then take a dive over to the side that you're pulling on that hand. And then inhale, come back up. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, pulling up with the hand, tipping to the side. Okay, 1 more time, pull up and stretch, and then come back. Release the bottom hand very slowly and let your shoulder come forward. That's going to release that anterior deltoid, and then bring it down. How are we doing? Are we okay? Okay, there's a lot of work for the shoulders this morning, all right? So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I've got my heavier buckle. Get it around your back. Thumbs point towards one another. And then we're going to start our gentle floss. So we can walk our thumbs up in towards one another if we can. And the tendency is to want to look down. It's nice that we're on videos because we always look up to see the video. A lot of in my in-class person classes, they look down. So we're looking straight ahead, and we're going to gently lift the hand up with an inhale. And then exhale, pulling down gently again. We're not talking about ripping this band apart at this point. We're talking about just lifting up and feeling a little stretch of the muscle. Let that elbow maybe float forward if you can, of the bottom arm, and then exhale, let the elbow float up. We'll do this a few more times. Big inhale and exhale. The other thing that's really wonderful about yoga is that we have 2 sides of the body. So you have one side that you're going to probably notice feels a little easier to do this on than the other one. And that's normal. But it just gives you some feedback about which arm is probably doing more of a stretch and which one is doing more of the work. We're going to hold it up as much as we can, and then we're just going to tip over to the side. And then come back up. Exhale, tip over to the side. And come back up. We'll do one more, a gentle tip over to the side, a little bit more pull. And then come up. So we're going to release the bottom hand, just slowly let it just come down. Bring that shoulder forward because that one got a big stretch, and then bring it down. And then release the straps. All right, so lots of shoulders. I'm going to take a sip of water. Make sure you stay hydrated, especially when we're working a lot of the smaller muscle groups. We've been doing a lot of stuff opening up the chest. So our last little seated one, bring those hands all the way up. Interlace your fingers and then roll forward. Press your palms towards me and round out that spine. And then we're gonna pull our elbows behind us. And this will feel quite natural now because we've done so much chest opening, so much deltoid work. And then exhale, interlace those fingers, tuck the chin and press forward. First time really separating those blades. And then inhale, opening up and just noticing, hopefully, that our chests are really quite able to expand. And then we'll do it one more time into the forward fold. Normally forward fold is much easier because we spend a lot of time in this position. But I find now that we've worked our shoulders and loosened up a lot in the chest, this position doesn't feel too bad at all. And then relax. All right, let's go ahead and come off of our blocks if we have it. And we're gonna make our way into all fours. So we're gonna place our fingertips spread nice and wide. And if we find that we have any kind of wrist issues, you can hold on to those blocks, no problem. Okay. And we're concentrating on the thumb and the index finger, the L shape, pressing those into the floor and then rolling the shoulders back. Okay. Knees underneath the hips, and I like to tuck the toes like that for a good stretch of the plantar surface. What I want us to do is just push your bum towards your heels and stretch out those toes. Okay. And then come back up into your tabletop. And then again, we're pressing into that L shape of the fingers, and then your bum goes back, toes are tucked, and we're just stretching. It doesn't have to come as deep as mine. And then we're gonna come back up. And we'll do it one more time. Exhale, pushing the bum back, and then coming back in. All right, let's do a little cat here. So rise up your spine all the way, tuck your chin and look at your belly. Then drop your belly down, look up to the ceiling. Come into the flat back, and then push yourself all the way back to stretch out the calves and the Achilles tendon plantar surface. So we'll take that flow. We'll come to tabletop, inhale, cat, tuck the chin. Exhale, cow, look up. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, push back. Inhale, tabletop. This time, exhale, round out to cat. Inhale, drop the belly, cow. Exhale, tabletop. Inhale, push back. Exhale, come back. We're gonna rise up to cat one more time. We'll drop ourselves down into our cow. We'll come back into our tabletop and push our heels, our hips to our heels. Come back into your tabletop and extend your right leg out. Once the right leg is out, let's see if we can lengthen the left hand out. Okay. And again, if this is starting to become a little bit too much, we can always put our elbow on a block and do it from here. Okay. So, but if we're okay with the wrist and we're stable and we've got one hand reached out and the opposite leg is out, let's see if we can lift both of those limbs together. So big inhale, keep the back flat, squeeze, and then exhale, lower back down. Okay. So inhale, one leg and one arm, and then slowly come down. Inhale, nice. Try and get it right at hip. Yeah, beautiful. Looking great. One more time, lifting up. Can we hold in the up position? That's the question. Can you hold it? Yes. Can you bend your knee and your elbow? So you're bending your knee and your elbow like you want to take your thumb and touch your shoulder. Great. And then we're going to release it back out and then place the hand and the toe back down. So from the side view, inhale, lift up, bend your knee and bend your elbow. See if that thumb can touch your shoulder. Then send it back out and come back down. One more time from this other view. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend elbow and knee. Inhale and exhale, come down. And for those of us who want that little extra, lift up, bend your elbow and knee. See if you can take that hand that's in the air and reach it down by your side. It doesn't have to find the toe, but some of us might be able to find the toe. And then we're gonna release it all the way down into child's pose. Lots of work for the shoulders again. Okay, so we've been balancing on those wrists and those shoulders. So knees outside the hips, big toes touch. And then send yourself all the way down into your child's pose. So a lot of our spinal balance, tabletop, cat-cow, it relies upon a lot of shoulders. And now that we've really started to work those shoulders, you might be really noticing them, probably your wrists too. So just release those wrists, maybe give them a little roll. Go ahead and come back into the tabletop, but before we go back into that deep exercise, what I want you to do is take the hand that was stabilizing you, okay? And I want you to dive it underneath the other one. So drop your shoulder down to the floor. Here's the option, a block for your head, okay? So that we don't have to go all the way down. And then I've got my other hand to support me. If you're able to get your head all the way to the floor, palm is up as you thread through. This is getting the back of the shoulder. We did a lot of stretches for the front, the anterior deltoid. Now this is the posterior deltoid. We're just doing a couple of nice deep breaths here. Now I like to give lots of options because everyone's gonna have different flexibility. Everyone's gonna have different ways of being able to move their body. So if you're already feeling the stretch in the back of the shoulder and this is feeling quite delightful, please just stay here. The hand that is supporting you though, the one that's not thread through, you can take it and walk it all the way up to the top of your mat. And then you're like pulling yourself forward. So that's gonna release the lat, okay? So again, we're talking about this muscle group right here. So I can walk my hand and reach it up as high as I can to the top of my mat. And if I still am okay with the shoulder and the weight on my shoulder, I can take this hand and walk it over to the other side of my mat with a finger, index finger and thumb, and then look up to the ceiling. That's gonna put a lot more pressure because now I'm winding my top shoulder, pressing down on the bottom shoulder. But I'm also getting a little bit of a twist here through cervical and thoracic spine, and I'm twisting up to the ceiling. That means I can press with the hand on the floor and the one above my head and give myself a bigger twist. So again, don't worry if this is not for you. A couple of more nice deep breaths before we go back into our spinal balance. If your hand is walked over to the other side of the mat, walk it back and then pull it in beside your shoulder. You've got your hand placed firmly on the ground so that you can unwind the one that's underneath. And then just have a little seat, shake it out, checking in with everyone. Okay, so that should have really released a lot in the back of the shoulder here. Let's take it back into our balance. We're on the other side now. Blocks if you need them for wrists. Again, I like the blocks for challenging my participants who need to get a little bit more grip in, and remember to use their fingertips. If you have a lot of stability in those wrists, then it's okay to come down to the floor. It's however you feel like it, okay? And then once we've done that, take a look at the L shape on your hands. See if you can make that L so that you can turn those wrists so that they seem to be in a good position. Now, it's not a problem if you're out like this, but generally I like to see that L shape and then press into the thumb and the fingers so that you can do that. And then you're extending your other leg out. So whichever one you were working with, go ahead and extend the other one up and then slide the other hand out. So you should feel a big stretch here. It's the cross slings. When you walk, opposite hand to leg usually moves so that you can balance. And so this is the same idea. So we've stretched out one arm and one leg. With your big inhale, lift up and then exhale, lower down with control. So we're looking down at the ground. We've got that nice little L shape. Inhale, lift up, and then exhale, lower down. Taking breaks when we need to, staying with this if this is where we need to be today. Slowly lowering back down. We'll do it one more time. Nice, lifting up, and exhale, lower back down. All right, we can go ahead and lift up. If we can, turn your thumb up and then bend your knee and bring your bring your thumb to your shoulder. Extend it out and then tap it down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. So we're working shoulders, we're working your core, we're working our balance. If you want to try for that big stretch, lift up, bend your knee and your elbow, then sweep the elbow around so that we can pull it down by our sides. And if you can find that toe, great. If you can't, we're just reaching. And if we can find the toe, just give it a little hold, a couple of more breaths, and then release it out. Come right into that child's pose to relax those hips and those backs, hands nice and wide. And again, if we just want to stay in child's pose as opposed to doing the shoulder release, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just love everyone doing what they need for their body. So if your body is saying, wow, I just really want to stay here and just stretch, because again, it's a gentle way to reach up over your head. It's a gentle way to open up those hips. We don't think about child's pose as a pretty active pose, but if you're really stretching those hands and reaching up and driving your chest down, you're really going to be able to stretch out behind those shoulders and into those hips. If you want to take it for the walk through on the other side, go ahead and come back into that tabletop. A block for your head or not. Other hand, thread it underneath, palm faces up, and take your shoulder to the mat. And then once we've done that, just shift around a little bit so that we feel comfortable on the knees and we feel comfortable on the shoulder. And we've got full support of that hand. That palm is face down. If you want to give a little bit more pressure to the shoulder that is being stretched out, the bottom shoulder, that's where you start to lengthen out the walk of that arm. So we're taking it and walking it right above our head. And then if that is okay, we can go ahead and do a little spinal twist by walking index finger and thumb like an itty bitty spider. If you know that nursery rhyme, itty bitty spider went up the water spout. You're just doing that little finger movement over, and then we're looking up to the sky. Anywhere you want to be in this posture, we're just hanging out here and breathing. A couple more nice deep breaths. Just notice how the shoulders feel, whichever position you happen to be in. And then if you're in the fully expanded position like me, walk that top hand back in line with the shoulder, and then place that palm firmly on the ground so that we have a good position to push off of, using those biceps and chest muscles to release ourselves out. Go ahead and have a seat, maybe have a sip of water, and I'm checking in with everyone. All good? Shoulders are really doing their thing today. We're going to take a standing posture next. So when you're ready, find your strap and then come to standing. Okay. So we're winding our strap up again, so that it is shoulder distance apart. And if you don't want to use a strap, it's fine. And we're going to stand in the center of our mats. And you want some tension on that band, because what we're going to do is put the weight into our right foot and bring the band down and try and balance as you tap the knee and then come back up, okay? So if we're on a softer surface, it's gonna be a real challenge. I'm on a harder surface because I have hardwood, but if you're on your carpeting, it's gonna be a little bit more of a challenge. You're pulling the strength of that band, so we're never gonna get a wet noodle. We never want any of that wet noodle looking. We want a nice taut band, so the shoulders are pulled back. So as soon as you pull on that band and it's tight, the shoulders have to pull back. It is very hard to have your shoulders roll forward unless you have a limp noodle. So this is why we're using the band here. So just pull on that band, stand up nice and tall, and then lift up that leg, and then put it back down. So it's a little bit of a crunch here. So once we've got it, we're gonna crunch forward, pull on the band, and then inhale, back up to shoulder height. Exhale, crunch, and inhale, come back, 2 more times. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, come back. And I'm already feeling it in my back. And then pulling on that band, trying to touch the knee, and then come back. How'd everyone do so far? Okay, so both feet are on the floor. We're in the center of our mats. Okay, and soften your knees. We're going to take our heads, keep them face forward, and then pull the band over to the right side. My knees face forward, and we're pulling the band over to the right, and then coming back into the center, and then pulling it over to the left and back into the center. Now, if it's starting to burn your shoulders, drop your hands a little bit more and still continue to twist. If you can keep it at shoulder height, you're really feeling the tops of your shoulders working. And come back. We were doing a lot of stretching, but now it's working again. Exhale, keep your head straight, twist, soften those knees, come back in. We'll do it one more time. Exhale, twist to the left, looking straight, come back in, and then release those hands down. Give me a couple shoulder rolls. Whew. All right, so it should be burning right here on the top, on the sides of the shoulders. Okay. No one's ever gonna ask me to do something again, right? Because this is just like, oh my gosh, this is so much shoulders. All right, so feet are underneath the floor, Feet are underneath your hips. And we're gonna take our hands all the way out again. And we're gonna try in that balance. So it's a little soft knee bend, and you're gonna drop your hands, try and crunch. The first one is gonna be weird. So you're on the other leg, and then inhale, come back up. The more tension you have on that band, the more you're gonna work the backs of your shoulders. Exhale, and then inhale, come back up. We've got 3 more of these. So exhale, crunch. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, crunch. And inhale, come back up. All right, put the foot on the floor. Hands are at your shoulder height, pulling on the band. And instead of this time twisting, what we're going to do is we're going to lift the band up above our heads, just forward, I can still see it, and then drop into a chair pose. Knees come forward, butt goes back and down. Okay. And then we're gonna slowly come up, and then let those hands come down. So now we're really aware of these shoulders. Inhale, hands up, just forward, I can see them. Exhale, butts come down. Inhale, come up. And exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, rise. Push into your heels, push your bum back. And again, it's not about the depth. It's about feeling the heels press into the floor, squeezing your butt and your quads as you come up, and then lowering that hand down. Now, if you're feeling particularly confident today, we're gonna add in that squat with the leg lift, okay? So inhale your hands up. Exhale, lift your leg. Bring it into just a little bit of a knee bend. Come back up, put the foot down, and then release. If that is too much, we'll do the same leg again. Inhale the hands up. Exhale the knee. Put the both feet down and just come into a chair, or you can balance with the one leg. And then come up, and then release. We'll do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, both feet down, or one, push the butt back, really concentrating on that quad. Inhale, exhale, everything releases. Let's try it on the other side. So again, modified chair or take the chair. So last round, big inhale, rise those hands up. Exhale, just sink into the chair. Inhale, come up, and exhale, come down. Let's add on the balance. Inhale the hands up, stay up. Lifting only one of your knees, the one that we haven't worked yet, then soften into a one-legged chair, or 2 can go down. Inhale, exhale, let everything release. Start with the hands. Inhale the hands. Exhale, find the balance. If we've got balance today, sit into a one-legged chair, and then release. Our last one. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, leg. Inhale, sit. And then exhale, release. Nice. Let it go. Put the strap off to the side. And we'll take our stance nice and wide now. toes turned out, shoulders up, back and down, and hands on your hips. Yeah. Your right knee tracks towards your second and third toe. My left leg is going to go straight. We're just going to bend a little bit here. Okay? And we're just going to relax those shoulders and then bend into the other side. So you're getting an adductor stretch. My left knee is straight, and then my left knee is bent, I should say, and my right leg is straight. So we're going to come up and then just switch. Nice. And then switch. We're just going to get into these legs a little bit more. One more time, over to the right, and then over to the left. If we're good with this one, come over to the right side and lift up your left hand. And then bring it back to your hip, and then bend into the other knee. Opposite knee, hand, you lift up. You're supported with the one on your hip, and then come back and in. So we'll dive over onto the right side, lifting the left arm, coming back in, switching sides, and then taking it up, and then bring it back in. If we're okay to do that, come over to the right side, lift your left hand up. See if you can take that left hand and sweep it to the knee, and then inhale all the way back up, and then come back into the center, dive into the left, lift the right hand up, bring it to the knee. So we're turning the hips and then inhaling back up and then pushing yourself back. One more time each side. Dive in, lift left hand. You're staying on that right quad, twisting down. Inhale up, center yourself. Press in, load the quad. Inhale the stretch. Exhale the twist. Inhale, come up, and then straighten. If you feel that you're okay, soften both knees so we're in a nice big squat. Inhale the hands all the way up, taking that right hand, sweeping it to the left. Inhale up, and then exhale the other way. So again, these are the legs. You're feeling the stretch through the adductors. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. One more time. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. Last time, twist. We're going to take it for a nice stretch now. So both of those hands come down onto your thighs. Okay? My thumbs are pointing behind me, and I'm able then to dive forward. Round the shoulders forward, and then walk those hands down to the knees. From here, what I want you to do is drop your right shoulder down as you press into that right leg, and then come back up, and then dive the other way, and come back up. Now, if you have to move your hands in another way, you can have your hands with the thumbs in the front. This is just going to give you more of a stretch in the backs as you have to turn and get some more revolving in those wrists. But if that's a little bit too much, thumbs face forward, and you can just gently press, okay? So a little more active, holding this way. You're going to notice the difference. Coming down, inhale up. That little wrist play as you come down, releasing the shoulders in the back. We'll do it one more time. Exhale, drop the right shoulder, push that right hand into that right leg. Inhale, come up, and then exhale, stretching those shoulders, which is lovely, but working those legs. All right, let's go ahead and bring those toes in, heels in, and give it a little shake here. All right, let's go ahead and come back onto the floor. And locate the little ball. Now this one's going to be to release a little bit into the back. I don't know if Natalia has played with you in these balls with the back. I'm probably sure she's done this before. But this is one that I want everyone to lift up one of their arms and then reach behind and see if you can find the soft tissue here. You're gonna feel a shoulder blade. Up here, lots of shoulder blade, okay? There's a bunch of soft tissue right here, just underneath. So when you have your hand up, You should feel it, and then when you drop your arm down, you notice that it is still a little bit more of a mushy place back there. That's where I want the ball to go, okay? Not on any of the bones here, because the bone, it has muscles on it, but we want to be really in that soft tissue right around the shoulder blade. So my shoulder blade moves around. If I can move around, I can feel where that shoulder blade is. We want it in between the spine and the shoulder blade, okay? So we're gonna lie on our backs. I take the opposite hand, and that way I can tuck it under my shoulder here. And it's probably gonna be a little bit lower than you think. You don't want it up high. Tuck it in a little bit lower until you feel it in a soft part of the shoulder, okay? And then we have our hand up in the sky. So we're able to just shift our backs around a little bit until we find a spot on the back where we can feel that it's not in the shoulder blade and it's not on the spine. And then we're gonna just gently bend the elbow. Now, if that ball moves or you feel a bit of a clunk, as long as it's not hurting and you've then able to shift so that you can get into a soft part, not on the shoulder blade and not on the spine, and then come back up again, okay? So it's just a nice elbow release. It doesn't have to come to the floor, it can. And then come back up. So again, working the pectoral muscle, pressing into some of the trapezius, possibly rhomboids, depending on where you've put the ball, and then come back up. Now my ball is probably at the bra line, just right here at the bra line, okay? You can be a little bit higher up, but is everyone feeling something good going on with just taking the elbow and pulling it down by the side and then bringing it back up again, okay? Yeah. All right, so if you found something good there, I want you to keep it there. We're just gonna change the direction. Now, all of the stuff that we did today, we moved around a lot. Like, we didn't just take our hands in one direction. We had them over our heads, we pulled them behind our backs, we did a bunch of stuff. So we're gonna start with the hand above the head. And now I just want you to take it and slowly lower it down by your side. And just notice what the tennis ball does. If we need to shift a little bit to make sure it's not on our blade, you can always press into those heels and shift around. And then we're gonna stack it right back over the shoulder. So exhale, just bring it down by your side. Again, different parts of the shoulder muscles have to move. And this is like a massage therapist trying to get in as he will ask you or she will ask you to move your elbow or take it behind your back and do different things so we can move muscles out of the way of each other. So what we're doing right now is just moving our arms so that different muscles get to touch the ball with the pressure just of your back and gravity. So we're not digging in, we're just allowing our breath to exhale and then inhale, come back up. What we're gonna do now is take it for the full range of the motion. So bend the elbow out to the side, then sweep your hand down and then bring it back up. So exhale down to the side, with the elbow bent, bring it in by your side, lengthen that arm, and then come back up. So it's very much like a row, and it doesn't have to be big, and we're just trying to let your body weight drop onto that ball. We'll do it 2 more times. Elbow out to the side, circle down, and come back up. If one way feels particularly good, you just prefer to go out to the side, or you prefer to come down, you can stay with that. Or you can join me by reversing this one. My hand is all the way up. Drop it down by your side, bend your elbow and sweep it out, and then come all the way up. So different circumduction, but allowing us to go over some of the muscles that might be causing us stiffness that we wouldn't know unless we were actually moving them around. And then once we've done that, go ahead and just let your elbow bend, roll over onto your side, and sit up. Let me just check in with everyone and how's everyone doing with that. Everyone find something? I just want to make sure we're okay. We want to move nice and slow. Did we find something in the back of the shoulder as we started to pull out to the side and then come up? So I've got 2 monitors so I can see everybody here. So let me look at the camera. So out to the side and then coming up. So when you look at my shoulder in the back, you can see that when I have my hand out and I pull, it's different things. When I drop it down, it's different. And when I reach out, it's different. So this big circular motion is getting all the different muscles that work, getting that nice working of that shoulder, okay? So how does one shoulder feel? Ready to do the other one? Okay, so again, palpitate. Find some stuff back there. The shoulders are different, so I'm palpitating. I have that little triangle here. I've got some lighting so you can actually see some of the indents here. So I'm going right here. This is the soft part. My shoulder blade, I can feel the shoulder blade. I'm moving it around. I can feel that blade. So I'm going right there. I have an idea of where I want to go. So now that I have a sense of where I'm going to go, I'm rolling over onto my side, opposite hand to the shoulder, tucking it underneath there, and then just gently rolling the body on. This is all about taking your time. It's very personal, and you're just kind of rolling onto that ball. I've hit more of a bony part of my shoulder, so I'm going to have to shift my butt until I find that spot. And I'm just going to hang out here for a second, just trying to find a spot that's really tense. Oh my goodness, I found one. Wow, I didn't even know that one was there. This is the great thing about classes. Sometimes I don't even know that I need them. So whoever was thinking shoulders is a good idea today, you really got me too. So thank you for making that suggestion. All right, so once we've gotten that, we're gonna just take our hand up onto a stacked position and then very slowly bend the elbow. So I'm gonna be a little gingered here because I really found a tight spot. And I'm just letting, oh, and my muscles just clunked over top of one another, but it didn't hurt. It just, two muscles were riding over one another and then coming back up. So again, I want you to breathe through it. Slowly bring the elbow down and then inhale, slowly come back up. Now you can do whatever you need to with the other hand. You can prop the elbow into the floor to take a little bit of tension off if you find it's a little too much. Shift the ball if it's on a spot that's really too intense, and then just stay here with a nice slow movement forward and backwards. Sometimes shoulder issues transfer to the front, so we actually feel like the pain is in the front of our body and it's actually a shoulder. Sometimes it's the pectorals that are causing shoulder issues. They all work together, so this is the wonderful thing about playing with our body, taking the time, breathing. Once we've done a few of those, we're going to see if we can just lower the hand down by our side. So wiggle those fingers, make sure that we don't have any tingling sensation. If you ever have a tingling sensation when you're stretching, it's just because you've obviously probably have pressed on a nerve ending. We don't need that. So inhale, float it all the way back up. Try and relax that shoulder. Exhale, I'm trying to relax my back because I've got a really serious knot back here. So my back is starting to tense up. I'm squeezing my butt. Just try and relax. I'm telling you what's happening in my body, just in case it's happening in yours. So relax the shoulders. Maybe you have a tendency to clench your teeth. Let the teeth relax and let the eyes soften. One more time. I've stopped in the top position and I'm going to go for the circle now. So I'm bending my elbow and then you're going to scoop it down to your side and then lift back up. So now we're doing a big circumduction of the shoulder joint. So coming down, sweeping in and lifting up. Let's see if we can go a little slower. Slowly down, out to the side, slowly sweeping in, and then rising up. Our society, our modern day society, likes to go fast, but the muscles react to stretching by going very slow. This is where you see practices that are all mind body that slow it down. We do not need those practices that amp us up. We've got way too much in this world amping us up every day. Lights, sounds, engineering, technology. We're just overloaded, so we're just trying to slow everything down. I'm gonna take it the other way now. So my hand is up in the air. I'm gonna bend my elbow, come down at the side, sweep out, and then straighten. So it's going to be a bend, exhale to come down, open up, and then rise to the sky. Do a couple of more of these, again, slowing it down. And if I'm going even faster than you, then you are doing a way better job because I have a tendency to want to speed through things myself. So I'm going to really slow it down. Bending the elbow, taking it out to the side, bringing it all the way up. I'll do one more with you. Coming down, around, up to the sky. Bend the elbow, roll off of the ball by dropping the knees opposite to the side that you're on. and then make your way up. All right. The last little bit for today's class with the ball is going to require a block. It might require two, okay? I'm going to start off with one block. And again, I have talked about it today. This muscle right here, okay? I can grab it. You can see it. That is pec minor. That's that one right here. The ball is going to go right into pec minor, okay? But we're going to lie down on our bellies with our blocks. So I just wanted to show you what we're doing with it. Okay. So block, lie on the belly, and we have the ball. Now the block is going to come so that it is in line with your armpit, and the ball's on it, and we're going to find that muscle we were talking about. And you can do a couple of things here. You can support your head with a fist. You can use your other block. So this is where I'm talking about maybe using the other block. So let me show you from all angles so that people who are visual can see it. People who are auditory can, I have my knees bent just because I have my window there. So just have your legs wherever they want to be. So you can have your head on a block, and you can have that ball right in that muscle here, okay? Or you can have your head. So once you've gotten that nice pressure of the ball, again, move it around until you feel it on that one, and then just relax your head down. So we're just trying to let that shoulder press into that ball, okay? I'm gonna come up and see how everyone's doing. Has everyone found it? Anyone having an issue? Everyone looks good. So we're just holding that ball right there and letting the weight of your shoulder come down, okay? So that is a stretch for the pectoral. A lot of the times you'll see it in a doorway, and you'll lean into the doorway and pull back. This is way gentler, okay? This is just allowing body weight and that ball to go right into that pectoral muscle. Now, if you would like a little bit more, if you're already like, wow, I found some good stuff there, I had no idea, there's other things that I should tell you about these kind of works with the ball. Sometimes you're gonna feel a sensation that travels all the way down the arm. You've got a bunch of pathways, and sometimes the trigger points will be telling you information, and it'll send it all the way down your arms, and you can feel it in your fingertips. Some of us might have it go the other way. It might go up the neck, or it might go down through the shoulder blade. There's gonna be a bunch of places that you might feel this start to transfer. As long as your head is supported either by your fist, your block, your head, yours on the floor, then we can do one of two things. We can stay put, or we can go ahead and lift up onto the fingertips. Okay, so if you need to take a peek, I've just lifted up onto my fingertips, pressing the ball into the pectoral muscle. If that feels all right, slide your fingertips up maybe a centimeter or two, and then a little bit down. It's not a big move. If we're inches, maybe half an inch. Okay, it's not a big move. And then slowly come down. So we're just starting to move that hand up and down. If we can go with a bigger range of motion, feel free to, so you can roll up a little bit more. So now I'm going up, and then I'm coming slowly back down. Inhale, just letting that ball roll over that muscle and then bring it back down. We'll do one more time, a nice big lifting up of the hand, and then an exhale coming back down. Now, for those of us who are like, okay, I still don't feel anything, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Massage therapists will do this again if you've gone to a massage therapist. Legs however you want, just have them on the floor. I have my knees bent. We're going to see if we can take that hand and then turn the palm up and see if you can bend the elbow. Okay, so everyone from the side view, what I've done, ball is here, hand is out, pressing into the pec muscle, sliding my hand down, turning it up, and then seeing if I can press down onto that. If the ball shifts, just go ahead and put it back underneath that. So it's directly underneath the pec. And then we can also elevate and place the hand on our backs. Okay, this is extremely, this is like the highest point This is not something that if you have had any kind of issues with the shoulder as we've been moving it back and forth that I want you to try. But in some of my classes, some people have that kind of flexibility where they can swivel onto the back and then just let the elbow drop down and let the pressure come in and relax that pectoral muscle. So we had done all of the work with the strap so that we could start to release this way. So again, hand on the floor, totally fine with the elbow bent, palm up, or just keep it out within that prone position instead of the supination. If you are on your back or anywhere else where your hand is turned up, go ahead and straighten that arm out and bring the palm facing down. And then slowly bend the elbow so that we can take the pressure off and then get off of that ball. How is the front part here? Okay, did we find some interesting things going on there? Wow, okay, that really, really gets tight in here. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Give me a couple of shoulder rolls or whatever you need to do. Take a sip of water before we go. Some intense self-massage techniques and releasing today. All right, again, 2 blocks, 1 block. Finding that pectoral muscle. And maybe just even staying on that one side is more than enough. Just finding it, putting it on, supporting the head, just breathing. Oof. All right, so again, remind yourself that each side of the body is going to be different. My dominant side tends to be the one that gets a little bit more sticky in the pectoral because I reach for doors, I open up boxes, I do a lot more with that arm. So just relax your head, just let gravity pull down. And if we feel like taking the next level, that's when we pop up onto those fingertips, because that's gonna, again, give us a little bit more weight into the pectoral muscle. It's just gravity. We've just taken a lot of the support from the hand, from the palm of the hand, and just put it into fingertips. And then we're gonna do a little couple of movements, just a little up and a little down. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the side that is talking to me. So just a little up and a little down. Make sure you're breathing. Nice deep breaths, relaxing the jaw, relax those legs. Just that little movement. If we want to make it a little bit bigger now that our muscle is allowing some more movement, we can. So I'm just going to go a little bit further down. Ooh, good, low. Good stuff in there today. So it's when people ask me for things, sometimes I myself as the teacher find out that I have tightness in that I wasn't aware of. So that's one of the nice things about having different teachers too. I always try and get to a couple of other people's classes just so I can see how they do and what they say, and I always find that there's something that I can take out of everyone when I take something new. So hopefully you're finding something out of this one today. If you can, go ahead and see if you can turn the palm up and then just bend at the elbow and then just bring those hands a little down by your side and then just let the shoulder relax. Taking some nice deep breaths, because again, it's just changing the way the shoulder is. When you have your palm down, there's different muscles than when you actually have to turn up and rotate a little bit through the humerus bone. Okay, so your ulna and your radius will flip as you turn your palm up. It changes the way the humerus bone works, and then it rotates your forward, and then you can pull down behind you. So this is like reaching behind your back. If you can actually reach behind your back, go ahead and lift up and slide your hand on your back and then just let your elbow hang out. So again, this is the most pressure you're going to get on that pectoral muscle. So again, not recommended for anyone who's already doing some good work with the hand either in the prone position or the supinated position, either one. Let's just do a couple more nice deep breaths here. So getting some stretches to happen, it takes anywhere between 3 and 5 minutes for the body to actually start to release. Because a lot of the time, the muscles are ready to go. We're always in this fight or flight mode. And again, I've been talking about it all class. We've got so many things stimulating us all the time that we're always prepared to move, jump, go. So it's only in these nice, long, deep breaths, allowing ourselves to relax into it, that our muscles are starting to go, oh, okay, we can start to let go. Let's slowly make our way out of this one. So if you have your hand up, turn the palm back down, bring it out to the side, and then gently bend your elbow with your palm flat on the floor so that you can press into it. Roll off of that ball, and go ahead and come up. Put the ball off to the side. Go ahead and come to seated. Now we've been lying down a lot, so I'm not going to do a long meditation that we are sitting on the floor. I'm actually going to do a seated one for us. But if you do want to take Shavasana on your back, feel free to go ahead and have a lie down on your back. But if you've done a lot of work with your shoulders today and you just want to sit on the block or do a little side rock a little bit, then we'll take a deep inhale. If you're just lying in your Shavasana, just lay down. If you're with me seated, I just want you to take a couple of breaths and exhale, floating down. We'll do it one more time. A nice big inhale, rising up. And then exhale, release it down. Let those hands drop past your legs, or you're just relaxing down on your back. Then we're just going to turn and look over to the right, whether you're lying or whether you're seated. Just look over to the right. And then bring it back to the center. And then look over to the left. So again, a lot of the times with the shoulders, there's tightness in turning the neck. We're going to one more time over to the right side. Bring it back to the center and over to the left. And then back to the center. Now, if you're lying, it's okay. But what I want you to do is turn and look to the right. And you're going to take your chin and you're going to look up towards the ceiling. Then you're going to bring your chin back to your shoulder and then look straight ahead. We'll do it on the other side. So whether you're lying or seated, turn to look to the left. Inhale, tip the chin up away from the shoulder. Exhale, and come back through the center. One more time on the right side, so look over to the right. Lift your chin up away from the shoulder. Exhale, and come back through the center. One more time, over, tip up, coming back in, and center. Just relax your hands. If you want to put them in your lap or just let them hang out by your side. We're going to go back to our calming breath that we started in the beginning. I'm going to put my hand on my chest and my belly, although I'm seated. You could do it lying down. Just notice how we're breathing right off the bat. Are you breathing with both the chest and the belly rising together, or have they managed to start to separate for our diaphragmatic breathing? If you're joining me, it's inhale, chest, belly, exhale, belly and chest. Inhale, exhale. 2 more times. Inhale, exhale. 1 more time. Big inhale, exhale. Because I've chosen seated posture, I'm just going to let my hands drop into my lap, let my shoulders relax and sit up nice and tall. We can also take our thumb and our index finger or our middle finger and put them down for a mudra of the fingertips, just so that we're aware of our hands. So it can be rested on or on the knees. We're just going to hold our silence, and if you're lying in Shavasana, you're just trying to release the tension throughout the body. You can go back to that nice flowing breath. We can just focus on how the shoulders feel. We can maybe go back and find that little bit of gratitude for the practice, for our bodies, for our ability to learn and grow and enjoy maybe the comfort of our home. Just find something to be a little bit grateful for in the moment. And find that nice relaxation. It is time for movement. Whether you're seated or lying down, let's go ahead and just move those wrists. Just make them move around. And if you're seated like me, just place your hands on your knees, and we'll do a couple of circles, dropping our right shoulder down, circling forward. If you are on your back, you're just letting your knees rock side to side. Bend those knees and then just do a little rock side to side. You might even want to pull the knees into your chest and do a little rock side to side. We're just doing a little circle here with our shoulders. And if you're with me seated and doing the circles, just go the other way. And if you're lying down, let the knees drop to one side and start to make your way all the way back up to a seated posture, so that we will both be in seated postures for the last couple of breaths of the class. And once you have found yourself seated, we can stop the movement, stack the head, rise those hands all the way up. Big inhale, look to the ceiling. Exhale, bring those hands down through heart center. Let's just do 2 more of these. Just notice how the shoulders feel. Big reach, look all the way up. Exhale, floating down. This will be our last big one, to just notice how those shoulders work as you rise them up. Bring them together, hands down, and let them go. Thank you everyone for practicing this morning. I hope we enjoyed that one. I'm going to turn off the recording, and if anyone has any questions, then